Chat, will you shut up already? Oh, that damn cricket. I'm gonna find you after this. I'm gonna find you. You will not shut up. I will find you after this. Not trying to hear this today. Oh my god, I did not play that. Oh, okay, I'm gonna have to deal with that next. Oh, yay. Hello. Okay. Try it again. Can you reset that, please? There we go. Yep. Yep. All right. No, I don't need to check activity. Just let me do what I gotta do. Good lord, you guys are ready, huh? I'm just getting started. And you guys are all ready. Okay. This is gonna be an interesting one. All right. Oh my god, bro. I forgot to I didn't plate my spaghetti, man. I cooked that still in the pot. I'm about to leave it there for the next hour. It's good, no, but dang, I should have put that in a bowl. I should have put that in a bowl. Oh, I should have put that in a bowl. All right. Everybody, how you doing today? How you feeling? It's Monday. God, I really kept the mustache. I just took off my beard and stuff. I got the mustache still going. I'll probably trim this sucker. I like having the mustache like that, but I'll trim this sucker when I go get a haircut. So I guess I'm rocking with this for the rest of the week. ah, you know, I don't mind the beard. Just that sometimes I'll take the beard off. Sometimes I'll rock the beard. Other times I'll take the beard off. But if I'm gonna take the beard off, I'm gonna have to trim the mustache. So I'll do that when I get my haircut. Anyway, how you guys doing today, man? Put it in the bowl before it dries out. I should. I have it in the pot. It's like on. It's all good. I know where it is. I have it all good. It's where it needs to be. It's in this. It's still like in the container area, but it's just like I wanted to take it out of that container so I could be able to put it in the fridge, and I just didn't do it. So it should be fine. It should be fine. Man, how you guys doing today? Everyone doing well? Happy Monday to all. Man, I ain't gonna lie. I do not want to have to talk about this team. I really, really do not want to have to talk about this team. I mean, today was a great time to just focus on other thing. Ah, uh, just to chill now. I've been watching a lot of like I constantly watch YouTube videos of things I'm interested in. So I'm watching constant. There's this YouTuber that does a lot of breakdowns and storylines of Survivor. Which, by the way, I have not watched Survivor in a while. My dad still watches Survivor. I haven't seen the latest season. I know season 49 of Survivor is about to start like within the next 2 weeks, but I don't know if I've seen the cast. I'm not too interested in it. I am interested in season 50 of Survivor specifically because I heard my girl Cerie is gonna be back, and if Cerie is gonna be back, bro, she gotta win it. This is her fifth time playing Survivor. I need her to win it. And I'm pretty sure while they're getting ready to start season 40, well, not getting ready to start it, but getting ready to showcase season 49 on television, I'm pretty sure they are actually in the middle of producing season 50 right now. So there's a good chance all the contestants are on that island. And I know Suri ain't seeing this because they ain't got no technology over there for them to see this. But man, Suri, please, please, please. I don't know if you're going to make it to the merge. I don't know if you're going to make it to the merge. If they vote you out early, they vote you out early. But if you make it to the merge, I need you to do everything in your power. Please, Suri, if you are out there right now, probably because they're probably filming season 50 right now. They usually film the next season while their previous season is airing on television. So if she's out there, if they are all out there, please, 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 Suri, if you make it to the merge, do whatever you can to survive, man. You got to win some immunity challenges. I hope your alliances are all good. Do what you gotta do. If you gotta pull a Russell Hantz and go look for the immunity idol with no clues, go find the immunity idol. I want to see Suri win that season, man. Please, 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 please do what you gotta do, man. If season 50 comes out in the spring and Suri gets eliminated after the merge, man, I'm gonna be hurt. It's gonna be her fifth time playing, and she once famously said that she will play Survivor as many times as she needs to win it. Which again, it takes some time. Boston Rob played it like 4 times before he won. So however it goes, however it goes. So Suri, If you out there, man, please do whatever you gotta do to survive, man. Make the merge and then make it to the end. You gotta win some challenges. You gotta find some hidden immunity idols. You gotta make these alliances work. Do not get blindsided, please. Anyway, that has nothing to do with what we're talking about here. We're here to talk about the Ravens. You see, I don't want to talk about the Ravens. Like, you really see how I don't want to talk about the Ravens. That I'm just going on a random tangent to talk about Survivor, which is damn good. I'm actually I miss the old seasons, man. I really do miss the old seasons, man. Heroes versus Villains was my favorite season. Still love it. Heroes versus Villains was my favorite season. Love it to death. Sandra's my favorite player, so that's all cool. And I was watching a documentary with Sandra. There's a lot of great stuff out there with some of the older seasons, man. You really get to see some great stuff. I know there's some good contestants in some of the last few seasons. I haven't watched that much. I would have to ask my dad about it because he watches it. But yeah. Man, I was watching some Survivor stuff. I was catching up on some One Piece stuff because One Piece is good right now, man. The manga's in a great place. I'm keeping up with the manga weekly, but the discussion videos and everything. Speaking of which, just before I started this too, I gotta make sure I save this because there's a whole, I think, like O'Hara has a podcast, and O'Hara, he had Tekken on for this episode, and I gotta make sure I watch that one because I know they're talking about Elbaf in that podcast. And okay, I have it right here. All right, cool. Let me see.
Delicious. Yes. Oh, wait, are you staying somewhere outside?
All right, I just need to make sure I keep that here. I need my entertainment afterwards. I'll watch that. Probably read some manga and stuff, and then call a night. I also want to watch some movies. Speaking of which, man, I'm not gonna lie. I'm doing everything in my power to not talk about the Ravens, man. I gotta congratulate the Ravens, man. They really did a great job in just killing all my hope and optimism right off the bat in week one. Like, this ain't even fun for me anymore. This ain't even fun like that. I ain't gonna lie. At this point, I ain't even having fun dealing with this team. It feels like a chore every time we got to talk about the Ravens because it's never anything positive. It's not. And even when we talk about the positive stuff, it always comes with a level of pessimism because we literally know how things end for this team in January. So, watch the Bears. Right? I'm not interested in watching that. I'm not interested in that. I'm not even interested in football right now. Legitimately, I am not interested in football right now. It feels like a chore having to deal with the Ravens. I'd rather just not. I took the night off from football. I'll be here for Thursday night football. Of course, Commanders Packers. I'm gonna be here for that, but I took a night off, bro. So I have no idea what's happening in that game, and I am not interested in talking about football. But we gotta talk about the Ravens. But they've done a great job in pushing me, man. At this point, I'd rather just. I'm two steps away from just being like, all right, bro, screw the Ravens this year. I'd rather just go. I'd rather just go. Talk. I'd rather just go make movie reviews or anime reviews or something. Let me go talk about some movies. Let me go talk about some anime. I don't know. Let me get back into comic books. I'd rather just go do that and then make content off of that as opposed to having to talk about the Ravens. I'm not interested in football tonight. It's just the Ravens kill everything. They ruin everything. It's a good game. Well, hey, best of luck to the two teams. Best of luck whoever wins. I may catch it a little bit later, but I'm not watching it tonight. I'm not. I didn't even want to come here to do this therapy session, but I'm here because we always do a therapy session. I started this a little while back. I think the last 2 years we've been doing the therapy sessions. We're going to keep it going because we know how the Ravens do things. I ain't gonna lie. I really feel like I don't watch a lot of stuff. Like, I gotta get back into I gotta watch some movies. I gotta get back into a lot of these shows. Oh my goodness, there's so many shows I grew up watching back in the day that I feel like I should go back and rewatch and maybe even talk about them. Like, I mean, I'm not gonna go back. I think I've already gone through a good chunk of the list, but still, you know. Did I watch George Lopez this year? I think I went back and rewatched the Joe Lopez show. Did I? I could always go back and watch Fresh Prince. I'm not trying to deal with Family Matters. That dude, past season 3, Family Matters is just it's an acid trip. And then what else could I mean, you could always have some good times with Everybody Hates Chris. Just some of the old like TV shows I remember watching. Oh my gosh, should I take this time and go pull up some of the Cartoon Network rejects? Y'all remember when Cartoon Network had some of those live action shows? I should watch the new movie. You know what? I feel like I should really y'all been telling me last like last year. I should probably like make a channel doing some. I might do that. I might make a channel. I might make a legit channel where I just review movies. I might do that. You guys have told me that the last 2 years, and I brought that up several times. I might legitimately do that. That might actually be fun to do because I'm not a movie buff. I would consider myself a movie novice. I don't watch a lot of movies, so even the classics I haven't watched like that. That'd be a pretty good thing. I can make some good content off of that. I think it'd be real fun, funner than talking about the Ravens. But yeah, man, y'all remember the old shows on Cartoon Network? Like, you remember when Cartoon Network had that period where they wanted to do the whole live action stuff, and they started putting random like live action shows like Dude, What Would Happen and Destroy Build Destroy. I don't care what nobody says. I liked Destroy Build Destroy. Dude, What Would Happen was just like I don't even that was just there. That was really just there. It's like, dude, what it that was before YouTubers really were YouTubers. And Dude, What Would Happen is like it inspired a bunch of YouTubers to just be like, hey, we could totally do that. You know what? Let's try to take a basketball, throw it off the Grand Canyon, and see if we can hit a hoop. Like that's what inspired a lot of the stuff we see nowadays. I'm not saying Do What Happened was the pioneer of that, but I'm saying like television was trying to predict things like that. With the rise of the internet, television was like eventually some of these people are gonna get creative and go on in the internet and start posting videos of all of this stuff. But I remember Do What Would Happen. I remember Destroy Build Destroy. I actually want to watch some of those episodes now. Well, not Do What Would Happen. I want to see a little bit more of Destroy Build Destroy. I would actually want to go back and like rewatch that because I remember that was a pretty good show. I really like Destroy Build Destroy. But other than that, the live actions for Cartoon Network were just awful. Oh, am I a gamer? Dude, another thing, I don't game like that anymore. I got my PS5 right here with my controller and everything. I don't be gaming like that. I could start a gaming channel and play some of the games I have just to have fun. I also feel like I could do some streaming and stuff. There's a bunch of horror games. I'm watching a lot of YouTubers do that right now, and I feel like it would be fun to just play. I've seen a lot of those playthroughs where people are just like playing games where it's like, okay, I'm working at this bakery, and something seems to be weird about this bakery. Somehow it's like some stalker that's outside stalking you through the game. I might want to play some of those. I got a PS5 here. I have an Xbox 360 out there, but I got a PS5 here. But I might want to play some of those. I remember I think there was I can't remember the name of the one. There was one about the parents where the kid was trying to go outside and escape his house to go play with his friend, but his parents weren't allowing him. Legitimately, I would like to play some of those games. And I might do them. I got a bunch of games here that I have, even old classic games. I got some old Mega Man games here. I got some Sonic games here that I would love to play as well. I could do some playthroughs with that. Then again, I'm terrible at video games, so I wouldn't even make it that fast. I wouldn't make it that far, and I would be getting killed fast in these games. But yeah. Should I should I get started? Are we all good? Are we all good? What games do I have on the PS5? Let me see. Let me open on my PS5 right now. You see, we are what's it called? We are about 13 minutes into this. I want us to start off with positivity because I know how this is gonna go, and I just want to make sure everybody's on, the right case. I'm gonna turn on my PS5 right now because of course I got Madden, I got 2K, I got GTA 5, I'm waiting for GTA 6. Let's see what I have here. I don't have a lot of games here, but let me see. Okay, uh I got some Batman games because I got Arkham Knight here. I got Resident Evil 2. I got Dragon Ball Sparking Zero, which I have not played Sparking Zero in like 6 months. College Football 25, Madden 25, Batman the Telltale series, which I actually could do a playthrough of that. I got a Bleach game here. Got some more Dragon Ball games, Madden Injustice 2. I got the Final Fantasy 7 remake, which I'm not really that locked into the Final Fantasy series, which I gotta play this at some point. I got Marvel Spider-Man, which probably with the Miles Morales one. Should play that. I got the Mega Man X Legacy Collection, which means I got Arkham Asylum. I don't think I have Arkham City, but I have Arkham Asylum. It is right here. Oh no, I got both. I haven't played Arkham. I got Arkham Asylum right. I was like, wait, let me just show what I have here. Oh god, I got it don't even matter. I'm not fixing my green screen right now. These are just some of the games I have right now, and just tier. It's just tier. Like I got the Mega Man X Legacy Collection, which has all the Mega Man X series, which I have not even beat. Oh yeah, I got Mortal Kombat. Oh, dude, I got some. I got Naruto Ultimate Ninja stuff. I got some good games here. I got some One Piece games. I got Sonic Mania. I got the South Park games. I got Street Fighter Five. I got Scott Pilgrim versus the World. I got what is it? Yeah, Super Meat Boy, which I haven't even finished that. I got some Yu-Gi-Oh games. I got some WWEs. I got a bunch of stuff here. Like legitimately, I could just play some of this. I really could just play some of this. Is that Dead or Alive? There's no, that's not. I was about to say I do not remember having Dead or Alive. I got more other. I have not played this One Piece game yet. I got some other games, which I could just go into the library, but I got some games here to play. Like I feel like I should start a channel and just make some games. I just feel like I want to have fun right now because I don't think my team is gonna bring me any fun this year. You ever played Dead by Daylight? I have not. I have not. I forgot I have Fortnite here. Of course I have Fortnite here. But yeah, legitimately, I got a bunch of games. I'd rather just do that. I just play some video games. I could do some old. I could review some classic movies, some horrible movies, some great. I could just do all of that. It would just be funner than having to, or at least a lot more entertaining than having to deal with whatever this team is going to be. But yeah, I'd rather review movies, try to play some video games, see how that goes. Talk about anime. I really want to get back into anime. I have not really been an avid anime watcher in such a long time. So I would love to get back into anime. I know there's a lot of series that are out that I've heard of or read the manga, but like really haven't gotten fully into it. I feel like there's a good chunk of series because I'll talk about that with some of my friends about some of the newer stuff that's out, and I have not been keeping track of anime as of recently. I still I legitimately I still read One Piece every single week. I'm still reading Kingdom. Still got the posters about Kingdom and One Piece here too, so I'm still keeping up with those two series. But other than that, there's nothing else that I'm keeping up with weekly, and I would love to get into another series. And I haven't read like a serious manga because I like reading some of those mangas that's always going to leave an impression on me and really make me think. And I think a lot of the older mangas really do that. The last time I remember reading a serious manga or a manga that really stuck with me would be what is it, Fist of the North Star? Because I've always wanted to read Fist of the North Star, and I finally sat down and read Fist of the North Star from beginning to end, and it was fun. It was entertaining, and yeah, Kenshiro is awesome. But yeah, there's just a bunch of series I gotta get back into. Some old animes I remember watching in high school. I gotta see those. Some of the newer stuff. I could really do a lot of that, and I probably should just do that. That's just a lot more fun than that. But guys, let me know. Let me know. We are 17 minutes in, or actually 18 minutes in. Should I give us 2 more minutes? Should I give us 2 more minutes? Should I give us 2 more minutes? I feel like at the 20-minute mark, we could definitely do what we need to do. So I'm gonna give us about 2 more minutes because this is we want to start off with some joy. But yeah, man, it's crazy, man. I want to get into some stuff. I really feel like I would like to create a lot more content in different avenues. I would love to review movies, especially movies I grew up on. There's some funny movies that I really feel like that I grew up watching with my parents that I feel like I could even make. I don't even know if I could. I would have the allowance to that. But there's some old movies that I would love to be able to review. Some old TV shows and stuff that I would love to go back and watch. I would love to get back into the. I need a breakthrough. I need a breakthrough. I legitimately need a breakthrough into the anime aspect because there's so much stuff in anime and manga that I would love to talk about. I would love to if you guys are fans of that. I would love to make content, a lot of content with the why you should watch this series or why you should read this series. Because I feel like for Kingdom, I feel like I have to make like a whole video about why you should read Kingdom because Kingdom is one of the greatest manga series ever made. I don't think it's really difficult to make a why you should read slash watch One Piece video, specifically because One Piece is seen as the one of, if not the greatest series ever, and everybody talks about One Piece. So it's all cool in that aspect. I don't think that'd be one, but with Kingdom, Kingdom is one of the greatest manga series ever. But people aren't really fans of reading manga, and when you watch the anime for Kingdom, season one really turns people off because season one went with CGI the same way the Berserk series did. If you've seen Berserk 2016, you would know what I'm talking about. It's just horrible CGI. That's just like no, it's just bad. It's like season one of Kingdom is just not good. Season two is better. Season two is tolerable. Season three is better. Seasons four and five are great, and we're waiting for past that. And I think there should be a season six coming up. You can also watch the live action movies if you want, but those are going to be subtitles because they're in Japanese. Either way, I say you guys should get into Kingdom. I recommend it. I recommend you guys get into manga. Get into manga. Get into comic books, movies, video games. Do what you got to do. All right, it's been 20 minutes. Okay, I can't hold this off much longer. We had our fun. I had my fun. I actually got to talk about things I like and things I want to do. That was fun. You know, talking about anime, talking about video games, comics. Speaking of which, I gotta see some more. You know what? Tonight I'm watching the Sonic movies. I'm watching Sonic 1, 2, and 3 tonight. I'm doing it. I was trying to figure out if I wanted to do it. I'm watching the Sonic movies tonight. I just have to. Anyway, I tried to talk about things completely unrelated to football because I did not want to get into this. But this is the therapy session. So I can't sit here and talk about Sonic and talk about anime and manga and video games and comic books and movies and TV shows. I can't do that for the entire time. I have to eventually leave what I like doing to talk about this team. I would love to spend this entire live stream talking about anime. I would love to spend this entire live stream talking about video games, movies, comics book, what you guys tend to watch. Some of the things you would recommend to me as someone that's a movie novice. I would love to talk with you guys about that. But you know this is the therapy session, and I spent 20 minutes trying to be as positive as possible because I know what this is about to turn into. More and more people are starting to come in. The ones that don't know what's been happening the last 20 minutes, I tried to butter everybody up so that we can start off with a positive attitude. We spent 20 minutes talking about movies, TV shows, video games, cartoons, anime, television shows. We talked about positive things, things that are entertaining, things that bring us joy. We talked about that. We talked about that because we know what we have to discuss. So now that you guys are here, we can get on with it. I'd rather just talk about anime. I'd rather just talk about anime. I legitimately would rather just talk about anime than have to get to this. But here we are. So, enough stalling me. Get on with it. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Ravens flock. It is time for the week one therapy session. I recommend you all going to do anything else tonight instead of getting involved in this. For those of you that want to stick around to get involved in this, make sure you guys have something to watch. If there's a movie you want to watch, if there's something you enjoy, watch that movie tonight. Watch your favorite TV show. Go watch some stand-up comedians, bro. There's plenty of stand-ups you can watch. Go watch their specials. Make sure you have something planned to watch after this stream because what we're about to address here is going to be depressing. So I want to make sure that once we are done here, everybody's good and you can go find your entertainment for the night because I want everybody to have a good night. We should not let this team get us down. So after we finish this therapy session, please go play some video games, go watch some anime, read some manga, go watch some movies or cartoons. Do what you gotta do to feel happy, okay? Just want to make sure we're good. With that being said, welcome to the therapy session. Where do we start? Where do we start, everybody? Where do we start? Baltimore loses 41-40 in a heartbreaking loss, which has just become very, very, very. It's just become the staple of the Ravens. This era Ravens is defined by choking. That's what they are. They are a group of choke artists. Prior to me starting this stream, I was actually talking with my dad for 10 minutes in regards to how this team is as a whole. And we were speaking on a lot of things because we had a lot of heat for John Harbaugh, and I still have that heat. And my parents watch my stuff, so they definitely heard me call John Harbaugh a parasite, which I stand by that statement, but I understand. Me and my dad were having a conversation about that where it's like, I get what you mean, where you're coming after the coach and calling him a parasite because we keep failing. But you do realize we still have to hold the players accountable because they played so bad. And I'm talking to my dad about this. I'm like, he's making great points. I'm making great points. And I really got to look back and remember that last night, the crash out, which by the way, y'all know this now. If you've been here with the channel the last few years, I don't crash out like that anymore. In my younger days with the channel, we crashed out after every loss. We don't do that anymore. I give myself one crash out for the year. Why do I have that one crash out? That crash out is basically me recognizing what the team is going to be for the year. So I crash out because this is happening with the amount of talent we have. After the crash out, I'm good for the rest of the year. The Ravens showed me who they are in week 1 of the 2025 NFL season. So for the rest of this year, I have no reason to crash out. And when this team ultimately loses in January, like we all expect them to, I will be sitting here perfectly fine because I already know what to expect. We know how this ends for the Ravens. There's no need for me to crash out moving forward. So I had my one moment yesterday to crash out. And during the crash out, I was going heavily at this team and just calling them bums and the trash and getting at Harbaugh's head. But legitimately, I forgot to really talk about everybody on the team. So I'm going to take my time here and really go look at all three phases. So let's start with the offense. In all honesty, um, not much to say about the offense in this aspect. If we're speaking on Lamar Jackson, he didn't do anything wrong. Lamar Jackson in week 1 finished with the highest QBR and highest passer rating of any quarterback. He had the highest passer rating and QBR of any quarterback in week 1. He literally played flawless in that game. He couldn't have played a better game. Lamar Jackson literally couldn't have played a better game. It's literally a repeat of the 2022 matchup against the Dolphins, where Lamar did nothing wrong, didn't turn the ball over, didn't make any mistakes. He did everything he needed to do. And we still lost the game. Derrick Henry had 167 yards rushing on the game, but he fumbled. And that fumble was a huge aspect that hurt the game. And I'm trying to figure out how Derrick Henry, of all people, fumbled. Dude, Derrick Henry's fumbled 2 times in the last. He fumbled last year against the Steelers and he's fumbling here. Derrick Henry's not a guy that fumbles the ball. Derrick Henry is not a guy that fumbles the ball, yet he comes to Baltimore and fumbles it. Something is wrong with this team. Everybody on this team has a fumbling issue. Dude, I don't remember Lamar Jackson fumbling this much in Louisville. He comes to Baltimore, he fumbles. Zay Flowers has fumbled. Mark Andrews has fumbled. Derrick Henry keeps fumbling. I don't get what's wrong with this team. Our offensive players can't. Justice Hill keeps fumbling. Our offensive team just continues to fumble. And I'm not exactly sure why we keep fumbling. It's so weird how this continues to happen. Other than the fumble, Derrick Henry was Derrick Henry. So it's not like I have a lot of heat for him. We had a career night. A career night from Hollywood Brown. Jesus Christ. I'm so sorry. Zay Flowers. You could tell I'm not here right now. We had a career night from Zay Flowers. I think at 151 receiving yards. I'm not here right now, guys. I'm so done with this team, you can tell. But Zay Flowers had a career night. 151 receiving yards and a touchdown. He's actually in week 1. Zay Flowers leads all receivers in receiving yards in week 1. Derrick Henry leads all running backs in rushing yards in week 1. Zay Flowers leads all receivers in receiving yards. Lamar Jackson leads all quarterbacks in QBR and passer rating in week 1. And we lost the game. We lost the game. I would have never thought you could say that. Our quarterback is leading all other quarterbacks in passer rating and QBR. Our number 1 wide receiver is leading all receivers in receiving yards in week 1. Our number 1 back is leading all running backs in rushing yards. All 3 of this happened in week 1, and we lost the game. How does that happen? I'm lost for words. How is your quarterback play great? Your number 1 receiver balls out the entire game. Your number 1 running back is destroying worlds. You drop 40 and you still lose the game. How does that happen? Somebody has to explain that. Rashad Bateman didn't really get a lot of opportunities. This was more so the Zay Flower game. DeAndre Hopkins, one-handed catch is now ruined. That was a fantastic catch, a fantastic play, and I expect Lamar and D-Hop to connect a lot more throughout the season. The connection's already there. And it just hurts that D Hop's play, which was a fantastic play, is now wasted. No one's going to remember that one handed catch because we lost the game. Nobody's going to talk about that one handed catch. We lost. Especially because it wasn't like the craziest of one handed catches. At least when Odell had his catch, the Giants lost that game. But people remembered the Odell catch. People are going to remember this Diop catch, especially because he's had better catches than that, which is crazy because Diop's just that guy. You know, he's had better catches than that, but it was still one-handed catch. Amazing by him. But no one's going to remember that. So Diop did his thing. Diop did his thing. D-Hop did his thing. Lamar did his thing. Derrick Henry did his thing. And we lost. Oh, yeah, Zay Flowers did his thing. And we lost. That's just so bad. Um, Justice Hill. We're not throwing enough smoke at Justice Hill for fumbling that ball. He killed the drive. That was a touchdown drive that he killed, and we had to settle for three. We had a chance to make it 24 to what it would have been 24 to 10. We had a chance to make it 24 to 10 just before halftime, 24 to 10 or 24 to 7, whatever it was going to be. We had a chance to make put 24 points on the board in the first half, heading into halftime. We had that opportunity. And that guy fumbled and kicked us way out of range. If Justice Hill doesn't fumble, we still have a chance to score a touchdown on that drive. Instead, we got to settle for three. This is the problem with this team, the lack of discipline. Where's the ball security with these guys? I don't know. Mark Andrews was basically a ghost out there. He had one catch for 5 yards. I don't even remember Mark Andrews playing. That's how irrelevant he was. That's pretty much it for the weapons. Offensive line was horrible. I want to legitimately just go off on Falele, but I'm tired of speaking of this guy. He stinks. Um, he can't do his job. Let me be professional here. When it comes to playing the right guard position, Daniel Falele cannot perform adequately at that position. I got nothing against the guy personally, but in terms of doing your job as a right guard and protecting your quarterback, you don't do that. This guy is huge. He's supposed to be a force on the offensive line. But this guy doesn't know how to block at all. His technique is terrible, and he gets bulldozed by defensive backs way too often. Lamar ended up hurting his finger on that first sack because Falele can't do his job. How can we expect our quarterback to be safe in the pocket when his right guard can't do his job? So Falele can't do his job. The offensive line is terrible against pressure. Lamar he doesn't have enough time to stand in the pocket and scan the field because these guys can't block for him. It's awful. We're watching Lamar Jackson have to take these deep dropbacks because we can't protect him. Lamar Jackson has to take these deep dropbacks because we don't protect him. He can't trust that offensive line. He's got to take a 7-step drop back just to buy time to find someone down the field. That is not a good thing. When your quarterback can't take a simple 3-step drop back without getting dropped, that's not a good thing. So the offensive line, still an issue. Falele is horrible. He can't do his job. He can't block. That's a problem. The offense is explosive. The offense looks as great as we thought it was going to be. But tonight, I'm not tonight. Last night was a clear example that no matter how great that offense can be, we could still lose because of our late game executions. We'll get to that a little bit later. Let's switch over to the defensive side. What? I need to take a look at this. I need to take a look at this right now because I want to make sure I confirm this. I don't want to just run my mouth, but I know what I saw last year. Just pulling this up here. Not the postseason. Let me see. Yep. I'm looking at this right now. You came close against Cincinnati. Baltimore's defense was putrid last year. Baltimore's defense was garbage through the first 10 games of the season. For the first 10 weeks of the season, Baltimore had the worst pass defense in the National Football League. They were awful. Despite being awful, Baltimore's defense did not give up a single 40-point performance. The most they gave up was 38. Not that much of a difference compared to what happened last night, but the most they gave up was 38, and that was in overtime against the Cincinnati Bengals. And you're going up against Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Joe Burrow, so you get that aspect. Your defense was terrible. But despite how terrible they were last year, they never gave up 40 points. This defense yesterday gave up 41 points to Josh Allen. 41 points. This defense, they can't stop the run. They can't get pressure on the quarterback. They can't cover receivers on the outside. They can't make tackles consistently. This defense is just as bad as last year. Despite the improvement from a talent perspective in the secondary, this team is just as bad as last year from the defensive side. I am completely done with Zachary Orr. I don't care what you tell me about Zachary Orr for the rest of the season. I don't care to see what Zachary Orr is going to do defensively. I don't. I'm done with this guy as a defensive coordinator. I was lenient with you all last year when you were playing, when you were coaching, doing a horrible job coaching this defense last year. I gave you the benefit of the doubt. I said you were going to figure it out. And we made improvements in the second half. I hoped you would start off on the right foot this year against the Buffalo Bills. Make a defensive statement. And your defense comes out here and gives up 41 points. They couldn't touch Josh Allen, so they couldn't pressure the quarterback. They couldn't stop the run. They couldn't cover the pass. They couldn't cover receivers on the outside. They couldn't probably make tackles. This defense did nothing well yesterday. Nothing well. They were awful from beginning to end. They didn't do a single thing good. Two interceptions that were dropped in that game. Two, not one. Two dropped interceptions. Malachi Starks dropped the pick. Chidobe Awuzie dropped the pick. If either one of those interceptions go our way, we don't lose this game. Zero turnovers forced once again. In a big game where you need to create turnovers, zero turnovers forced because this defense doesn't know how to catch a football. I'm lost for words. I miss Mike Macdonald. I desperately, desperately, desperately miss Mike Macdonald. I want him back. I need like again. I wish we would have kept him. The worst thing this franchise has done in recent history is letting Mike Macdonald go and keeping Harbaugh. That 2023 defense, I miss that defense so bad. And now we're stuck with Zachary Orr. And there's nothing Zachary Orr could do that would convince me to trust this defense. No, no. We may have lost in the AFC Championship game against the Chiefs, but Zachary Orr's defense did not fold against Mahomes. You held Mahomes and the Chiefs to 17 points. That's on the offense. Zachary Orr's defense is putrid. Mike Macdonald's defense gave us the Triple Crown. They were the number one scoring defense, led the league in takeaways and sacks. God, I miss that defense. Mike Macdonald had Brandon Stevens looking like an all pro and had Marcus Williams playing better with one arm than he did last year with two arms. That's what Mike Macdonald's defense did. You gave Mike Macdonald all that talent, and he says, I'm going to give you the number one defense. You give Zachary Orr all that talent, and these guys can't cover a nosebleed. You got all those first round picks in that secondary, and they couldn't cover the outside to save their lives. That's just sad. That is just sad. I would love to just rant on you, but you guys, you're so pathetic. This new era of Ravens players, they're just so soft. All they do is talk the talk. They can't walk the walk. And you may have some rough riders within this secondary, but it's not gonna matter if everybody's just stinking up the joint. I miss Zachary Orr. I miss the coaching staff we had in 2023. I miss Denard Wilson, man. I know a lot of people don't know who that is. That was our secondary coach in 2023. God, that man had that secondary playing like a legit unit. We lost some good talent after the 2023 season. If we would have kept that same coaching staff after adding Derrick Henry, you keep Mike McDonald on that same coaching staff. God, we would have been in a different universe. We didn't have to deal with this man. Oh my goodness. Instead, we got to deal with Zachary Orr and his defense. I've got no faith in that defense to hold up, and it doesn't even matter what they do. Come January, you can't trust this defense, man. I can't trust this defense. I can't trust the coaching staff. I can't trust the players. And we got some ballers on the team. Legitimately, man, I can't trust none of these guys, bro. I can't trust none of these guys, bro. It's so terrible, man. It's so terrible. It's so terrible. This team's soft. But that's just the defensive side. Just a bunch of talent, no discipline, no dog in these guys. Um, Roquan Smith once again just missing tackles. What are they paying him to do? He's at the very worst, the second best linebacker in football. And he just looked like a cone out there. He didn't do anything right. Kyle Hamilton made some plays, but that's not going to be enough. Marlon Humphrey made some stops, but that's not going to be enough. Jair Alexander looked horrible, and I want to smoke this dude, but I'm not throwing any smoke at Jair Alexander. He didn't practice for a whole month. He was gone for a whole month, practiced 3 days, and we thought we should expect anything different from him. We might have been the crazy ones for believing he could just come in. Jair Alexander was out of practice for a whole month. He was out of practice for a whole month. He had 3 days of practice because he came in on Tuesday. So he practiced Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. He was out for a whole month plus. Practiced for 3 days. And we thought he'd be okay to go take on Josh Allen. Like, what are we doing? Maybe that just was a bad call. Don't you think? Maybe you should have just sat back. So you know what? You come back week 2. Let's give you a little bit more practice. We'll stick with the guys that were here throughout training camp, not someone that only had 3 days of practice and now we're saying go out there and get it done for 60 plus minutes. It's just it's man. I don't trust the defense, the offense. I don't trust the defense. The offense is great, but I don't trust the offensive line. So I don't trust the offensive line. I don't trust the defense, and I don't trust the play calling. Defensively, Zachary Orr, I'm done with him. Offensively, I don't have anything to say about. I don't have anything to say about Todd Monken. I know everyone's going to get on this case for the conservative play calling, but we know that's a John Harbaugh thing. I need y'all to understand. I know y'all want to throw smoke at Todd Monken. I know everybody wants to do this, but let's not fall for the trap. This conservative crap has been happening years before Todd Monken and Lamar Jackson stepped foot in this franchise. Flacco used to call this out. Flacco hated playing conservatively. He hated when our offense was playing conservatively. He called it out and literally said, we're not winning the Super Bowl at that. I remember when Flacco was like, bro, if we want to win a Super Bowl, we can't be playing conservative. This is not going to get it done. Flacco hated when we played conservative football. So I can't hold it on the offensive coordinator. That's a John Harbaugh thing. Every time we get into the fourth quarter with a lead, we start playing not to lose instead of playing to win. Instead of staying aggressive and adding more points to the board, we get complacent, we get conservative and say, let's just maintain this lead and go home. We do it every single time. We've been doing that with John Harbaugh for well over 15 years now. So I'm not going to sit here and point the finger at Todd Monken. I can't. I know you want to, but I never blame the offensive coordinator when we get conservative in the fourth quarter with a lead because that is a John Harbaugh thing. Every coordinator has done that. Every coordinator has done that. When Greg Roman was here, we were doing that. Marty Morningweg, we were doing that. We've been doing that with all our coordinators. Even with Kubiak, with Gary Kubiak, if we had a lead in the fourth quarter, which was rare, but if we had a lead in the fourth quarter, we just play conservative, try to run the ball down, don't really try to be aggressive to score points, and just go home. We've been doing this with John Harbaugh for years now. So I'm not going to listen to anybody that wants to take a shot at Todd Monken's play calling in the fourth quarter being conservative because I know that's not a Todd Monken thing. That's a John Harbaugh thing. Every coordinator we've had is forced to be conservative in the fourth quarter because that's what John wants. So I'm not going to hold Todd Monken responsible. His offense put up 40 points. How can I blame Todd Monken when his offense put up 40 points? It's definitely not Todd Monken's decision to be conservative. That's the head coach's decision because John's been doing that for years. So Todd Monken's getting no smoke from me. Mm-mm. We know with this Ravens team, they always play to not lose instead of play to win in the fourth quarter. We're focused on not losing the game instead of trying to win it and being as aggressive as possible. That's a John Harbaugh thing. Another thing I have to mention before we fully get into coaching. We're going to have to deal with the pain. We're going to have to deal with these issues. We're going to have to deal with these problems that are going to come. Tyler Loop is a rookie. He's going to miss some kicks. That missed extra point came back to bite us. Oh boy, did that missed extra point come back to bite us. He didn't lose. He didn't miss a single field goal, but that extra point, that missed extra point, ooh, did it come back to bite us. Oh man, it came back to bite us. And that hurts. That absolutely hurts. But we have to be patient. We know we're dealing with a rookie kicker. These things are going to happen. So I'm not going to be sitting here and getting on this man's case completely. I will in some cases, but not in some cases, like if he's missing field goals. But in a situation like that, he just missed the extra point. He hit all his field goals, but that extra point miss was brutal. So I do hold a little bit on him, but still, I'm not going to hold it on him completely. Though I hope next game he doesn't, miss. But it is what it is at the end of the day. Let's get into coaching. Defensively, Zachary Orr, like I reiterated early on, he's just, I have no faith in his defensive schemes. I don't. Why didn't we blitz? You're watching your pass rush struggle to get anything. Why weren't we aggressive? Why were we playing so much soft coverage? We were not aggressive. You have the talent to be aggressive defensively, and yet you actively choose to play soft. You're going up against Josh Allen and the Buffalo Bills, and you're playing soft. You are playing soft for real. Embarrassing. Just embarrassing. Playing soft coverage the whole game. Why? Why are you doing that? What's wrong with you? You're going up against the Bills and you want to play soft? You deserve to lose. You deserve your defense giving up 41 points. No pressure, no problem. We just going to let that happen the whole day. You want to blitz Josh Allen, at least add some pressure? No. If you're going to play that much soft coverage and have guys back there, maybe you should send a little bit more pressure by blitzing. Let's not do that. So you can't stop the run, like I said. You can't get to the quarterback and you're not even sending a lot of pressure. You can't cover in the secondary. You can't tackle. What do you do? This is your defense. The players have all this talent. They can't organize themselves as a unit. And then you as the coach, you're calling the game so soft. That's pathetic. I'm done with Zachary Orr. I will not defend this dude moving forward. I gave you a whole year, and you come back week one and do this? No, I can't defend Zachary Orr anymore. I'm done with him. I don't care what his defense does moving forward. I don't trust this guy as our defensive coordinator. I don't. At least not right now. I do not trust him right now. Offensively, I don't have a problem with Tom Monken. Again, they scored 40 points. You should win the game. There's nothing to be said about that. Special teams. Other than the missed extra point, special teams sucked. And it's been bad for a while now. We nearly had a situation on a special team punt where the ball nearly went off of the leg of one of our players, which would have been a muff, and the Bills would have been able to recover there. We're making mental mistakes. We can never seem to get in good field position with these special team kicks, and we never do a good job in coverage. The first punt or the opening kickoff, the Bills get to midfield. Perfect field position to start the game. We're terrible in special teams coverage. We're terrible in our punt returns and our kickoff returns. We're terrible overall in special teams. We can't stop anything. We're awful in special teams. This is a joke. What are we doing? This is a complete joke. Our head coach that used to be a special teams coordinator all of a sudden can't figure out this special teams. Special teams is awful. Defense sucked. Offense is great, but I don't like the offensive line. This is what we're dealing with. And then you got a head coach that just sits back and continues to make boneheaded move after boneheaded move after boneheaded decision, and he has that same look on his face every time we're losing a game. As soon as I watch John Harbaugh make that face, I know we're going to lose the game. It's the same nonsense every single year with him. Every single year. John Harbaugh, I want to personally congratulate you. Last night was the 17th time you have blown a second half double-digit lead. That is the most blown second half leads by any head coach since 1991. Impressive. You have turned choking into an art form. You have turned blowing leads into a franchise. You've made this your forte. You've mastered the craft of choking as a head coach. You've mastered that craft. You're a choke artist. You are a choke artist of a head coach. And I saw some people trying to fight back and say, well, he's coached for a long time. And the longer you coach, the more chances you're going to have something like that happen. Mike Tomlin, Bill Belichick, Pete Carroll. All three of these guys have been coaching longer than John Harbaugh. Not a single one of those guys have that type of record. Way to go, coach. I called him the Doc Rivers of the NFL, and he proves me right. And then you get all these comments talking about, oh man, Ravens fans don't know what they have. He's a good coach. He's a good coach. If you let him go, he'd be picked up anywhere. Doc Rivers was a good coach, and every time he got let go, if he got a job very next, he was with Orlando. It didn't work out there. He choked leads in Orlando. He goes to Boston and wins a championship. After winning that championship, he continues to choke games and choke away leads in the playoffs with the Celtics. They drop him. He goes to the Clippers. They keep choking leads in the playoffs, both during the CP3 Lob City era and the Kawhi Leonard Paul George era. Doc River-led teams kept choking. So what does he do? He goes to Philadelphia. You got Embiid, you got Harden. They start choking too. So he's got another team he's choking to. He leaves there, he goes to Milwaukee. Milwaukee's also choking. You notice how Doc Rivers keeps getting jobs? Well, he's a good coach. It's the players' fault. It's not Doc Rivers' fault if his players go out there and play like that. He keeps getting jobs because he's the Doc Rivers. Doc Rivers keeps getting jobs because he's still a good coach. John Harbaugh is the Doc Rivers of the NFL. If we let him go right now, he would certainly be signed somewhere else. But I guarantee you, that team will choke. And the fans will get frustrated. And eventually, that team would move on. And because he's a good coach, he'll get another spot. And because he's a good coach, he'll get another job. Just like Doc Rivers. Nothing's going to change there. People will continue to make excuses for John Harbaugh, who's the head coach. Again, 17 blown double-digit leads. 17 blown second half double-digit leads. Under John Harbaugh, the most by any head coach since 1991. That is what John has done. That is choking away leads at a high level. And that's him doing this before Lamar even stepped foot into Baltimore. I mean, this is the guy that blew not one, but two 14-point leads in the divisional round against the New England Patriots. Y'all remember in 2014? We went to New England. We had not one, but two 14-point leads against Brady and the Patriots. We blew both those leads and lost 35-31. That happened under Harbaugh's watch. His defense couldn't cover a special teams play to save its life. Not a special team play, a trick play. They couldn't cover a trick play to save his life. Yes, everybody. Let me read this for you properly. I'm gonna read it word for word so you can understand. You can understand what I am talking about. And I was constantly tweeting this. John Harbaugh has blown 17 double-digit second half leads. That's the most by any coach since 1991. This isn't hyperbole. This is a real thing. The Ravens have lost 8 games since 2021 in which they literally had a win probability of at least 90%. That is 3 more losses than the next closest team. You know who the next closest team is? I believe the Chicago Bears. Let's add more for you. The Baltimore Ravens last night became the only team in NFL history to rush for 235 yards and score at least 40 points and lose the game. This is out of 278 games in which that has happened. That is what we did yesterday. Baltimore also made history franchise-wise because yesterday was the first game in franchise history that we scored 40 points and lost. We've never lost a game in franchise history where we scored 40 points. Last night was the first time. So our choke artist of a head coach is setting records. He's setting NFL records. He's setting franchise records. He's making history all around. He's the head coach of this mess. Way to go, coach. Way to go. You've got an undisciplined football team. An undisciplined football team that doesn't do the small things right. I said this in my preview video when I was talking about the Ravens versus the Bills. I said the Ravens easily have the better team. They've got the better team with more talent and a better roster. But the Buffalo Bills are several times better than us when it comes to late game executions. And because they're so good at late game execution, they outclass us completely. Despite the fact that we're a better team, Buffalo is a much better team when it comes to late game execution. And because of that, they will always have the opportunity to beat us no matter how much talent we have. So I mentioned that in my preview video and said that's what helps give Buffalo a chance to beat us. If we don't give them that opportunity, we win. If we do, we're going to lose. And I said it as well in that preview video. If we showcase our talent, we're going to blow these dudes out. If we let the game get close, we're going to be in trouble. If this is a big dominant, if this is a huge outscore of points, pick Baltimore. If Buffalo makes this close, pick Buffalo. I said that in my preview video, and guess what? To the T, we saw it. When the game got close and it comes to late game execution, we are always on the losing side because we can't execute in late game situations. We don't know how to do that consistently. Buffalo knows how to do that. Their problem is they can't execute in late game situations when it comes to taking on the Chiefs. If they can get that figured out, they're going to win a Super Bowl because they won't be stopped. If it wasn't for the Chiefs, the Bills have at least 2 rings right now. And that's not even a debate. Because they are one of the best teams when it comes to late game execution. They know how to get it done. We are one of the worst teams at late game executions, which is why we lose so many damn close games. I mean, what else is there to be said? What else is there to be said? This is who we are. This is what we do. This is how we go about things. Ain't nothing different. Ain't nothing changed. This is who we been. The 2025 Ravens is no different than the 2024 Ravens or the 2023 Ravens. They're the same team. You're led by the same guy. You got a group of guys that are unserious. You've got an unserious football team that doesn't practice the small things and can't execute in late game situations. These guys are soft. They are talented, but they are soft. Completely soft. They're soft. Can you imagine Ray Lewis and Ed Reed having to play on a defense that's playing this soft? Can you imagine Terrell Suggs dealing with this? Haloti Ngata dealing with this? This defense is soft. They've got no vocal leader that's going to hold them accountable. You thought Roquan was going to be that. What is he doing as a leader? He's supposed to be the leader of the defense. He's supposed to get these guys in order, to make sure we don't play like this. Where is the physicality? Where is the toughness? This doesn't look like a Baltimore defense. I grew up when the defense was the face of the franchise. We were an enforcer. We were physical. You couldn't try this nonsense against Ray Lewis. Peyton Manning and Tom Brady were afraid to try a secondary because they acted. Bill Belichick and Tom Brady literally spent time talking about don't throw there. Don't give 20 a chance. Don't give 20 a chance. The number one thing Tom Brady and Peyton Manning would do when they would step on the field, the first person they're looking at is Ed Reed because they want to know where Ed Reed is and stay away from him. And even when they would try that, Ed Reed would still find where they're going. Ed Reed brought fear. Brought fear. Ray Lewis brought fear. Terrell Suggs brought fear because coming off the edge, you knew what he was going to do. We haven't had a legit pass rusher since Terrell Suggs. T-Sizzle put fear in you. I miss watching T-Sizzle get to the quarterback and force these fumbles. Even his last year in Baltimore, man. Remember the Raiders game? He smoked their car, forced the fumble, picked it up, and took it to the house. I miss that defense. Where is the group I grew up on? This isn't the Ravens defense. And it's such a damn shame, even though it was towards the end of it, and he didn't really play with those guys that much. Zachary Orr was part of a good Ravens defense. And you're the defensive coordinator now. You know damn well this is not the defense you played on. What is this? What is this, man? If the offense was a problem, we can live with it. That's what y'all need to understand. All of us longtime Ravens fans are used to the offense being terrible. We can live with the offense being terrible. We can live with the offense being problematic. We can live with the offense struggling to score points. We grew up on the offense struggling to score points. We grew up on the offense being inconsistent. We grew up on the offense looking ugly. That is what we grew up on. But we grew up with the defense being enforcers. That's what kills us inside as fans. When you think of Baltimore, when you think of the Ravens, you think of the defense. That is what defines this franchise. So when the defense plays so damn soft and they give up 41 points, how do you expect us to feel about that? I'm serious. You would have never thought to see some nonsense like this. God, I miss Ray Lewis on that defense. I miss Ed Reed on that defense. I miss Terrell Suggs on that defense. I miss Haloti Ngata on that defense. I miss these guys badly. God, I miss these guys. I miss these guys, man. This ain't even funny, bro. I miss these guys. This is not a Ravens defense we can be proud of. We can't even look these dudes in the eyes and say, you guys are doing a good job. You got all the talent in the world and you don't even know how to properly use your talent. What a damn shame. Like, coaching staff has been nasty and problematic, but you got no pride as a player. You are wearing the Ravens colors. You're supposed to represent. You know how our offense was looking like with Greg Roman? You remember those years like 2021 and 2022 when the offense was looking putrid? Dude, it was looking nasty, but we're used to that. I remember we were sitting here. We all sat back and said, man, this offense looks horrible. But it ain't nothing we ain't used to. We're used to the offense looking horrible. We're used to the offense being putrid. Us Ravens fans can live with bad offense. We grew up with bad offense. We can live with that. What we won't accept is bad defense. That's unacceptable. That is a no-no in Baltimore. You cannot be bad defensively. That is the staple of this franchise. So to watch them go out there defensively and give up 40 points, I've lost my faith in all of them. Every single one of them. I don't deny your talent. Marlon Humphrey is talented. Roquan Smith is talented. Kyle Hamilton is talented. All those guys in the secondary have talent. I don't doubt the talent of this team. But I can't look you in the eyes and respect you as a defense when you go out there and shame this franchise. You had Marlon Humphrey talking about this defense and wanting to bring back the respect that the Ravens defense used to have, the enforcement the Ravens defense used to have. He talked about it. He saw it when he first got to Ravens as a rookie in 2017. He wanted to bring back the focus point and attention on the defense. He wants people to fear the Ravens defense. How can we fear the Ravens defense when they're playing like this? And you know the worst part about it? Dog, Kyle Hamilton and Marlon Humphrey didn't do anything wrong. When you threw in Marlon Humphrey's direction, did they? No, nothing happened. They tried Marlo, he didn't give up anything major. You tried Kyle Hamilton, he was knocking everything down. It's not like everybody on the defense was stinking. But you guys have to play as a unit. And when everybody else is messing up, it don't matter how well you play. It don't. It's a representation of all of you. Marlon Humphrey did his thing yesterday. He wasn't the problem. Kyle Hamilton did his thing yesterday. He wasn't the problem. Those guys are troopers. They are elite of elite. They didn't do anything wrong. But you are part of this defense. And when the defense stinks, you guys get caught up in it. And we lose respect for everybody on the defense. Because as a unit, you represent this franchise. And if you can't live up to the Ravens defense, the Ravens defensive name, the defensive presence, the enforcer that the Ravens defense used to be, if you can't live up to that, what's the point in wearing the colors? What is the point? What is the point in wearing those colors if you're not going to represent the Baltimore defense properly? I don't give a damn what the Ravens offense does. The Ravens offense can look putrid every single week. The Ravens offense can be complete garbage every single week. We'll complain, we'll have our issues, but dog, we can live with that. When Greg Roman was stinking up the joint with his offense, we could live with that. It was annoying, we wanted him gone, but we can live with that. We can live with that. We're used to bad offense. Guys, we as Ravens fans can't live with putrid defense. We watched Hall of Famers on this defense. They never played like this. I can't, how can... Who do I have right here? Who do I have right here? Who do I have right here? I have Ray Lewis. I have Ed Reed on my wall. I couldn't imagine with these two on the defense together. I couldn't imagine them being on a defense that performs like this so poorly. And be proud of that. These two being on a defense that looks so bad, knowing how they represented this franchise. I couldn't imagine these two being on the defense and the defense looks that bad? Where's the leadership? Where's the heart? Where's the passion? Where's the care? Imagine these two on the defense, and we give up 41 points like that. That's what we're doing. That's what we're doing. That's what we're really doing. I don't care about the offensive line stinking up the joint. I'm used to that. Flacco had some troubles at times with the offensive line. Now, granted, I mean it was never Marshall Yonder's fault when that was happening. But, there was some times, especially off the edge, where things would happen. You had some issues with the offensive line at times. You had some issues with the pass game, the run game, especially after the Ray Rice situation when he wasn't there anymore. We've had bad offenses. We can live with that. We can live with bad offense. We can't live with a poor defense. We can't. We don't have respect for you. We don't have respect for you guys as a defense. We got respect for certain players on that defense. But as a unit, you all have to take the brunt force of this. We don't respect the Ravens defense. Nobody respects you guys. You've earned no respect from anybody here. You're awful. You're awful. And Zachary Orr, you should be ashamed. You played on the Ravens defense when they still looked like the Ravens defense. The way that defense played last night, that ain't the type of defense you played on. So how could you let that happen? How could you let that happen? You know what makes things worse? Ray Lewis. Ray Lewis tried to bring some motivation. Ray Lewis talked about a storm coming to Buffalo. Ray Lewis was on television. He was on NBC before the game talking about how Baltimore was going to bring a storm tonight to Buffalo. And you let him down. I'm tired of watching Ray Lewis. I'm tired of watching Ray Lewis have to hype this team up and bring everything possible to try to help this team, try to motivate you guys to go out there and play like a Raven. Just for you to stink up the joint and play like some bums. Ray Lewis is still trying to bring the juice to this franchise, and all you guys know how to do is waste it. If Ray Lewis can't get you guys motivated to play like a Raven, do you even deserve to be a Raven? Y'all don't care anymore, do you? Y'all millionaires, y'all get y'all check. Y'all get y'all endorsements. You don't care. You can't tell me you care and you play like that defensively. Y'all don't care. I refuse to believe you care. I'm not listening to anybody that tells me the Ravens defense cares. I couldn't imagine. I couldn't imagine a Ray Lewis-led defense playing like that. There's no pride with this unit. None. None. And Roquan Smith, you failed as a leader. Because you're letting this happen at your watch. It's happening on your watch. You're supposed to be a defensive leader on this team. And you can't even get these guys going. But we're supposed to have faith in you. And I don't care to hear about week one. It's only week one they're going to get it together. Where is the respect? This has happened so frequently with this defense. This era of Ravens football has been a joke watching this defense. We've had a few years here and there where the defense looked great, like 2023. And we couldn't even capitalize on that. It's so embarrassing. It's so degrading. It's so disappointing. You guys are embarrassing this franchise. You are embarrassing this franchise beyond belief. You call yourself a Ravens defense? Really? Really? You call yourself a Ravens defense? You're an embarrassment to the franchise. Everyone on that defense should be beyond ashamed of themselves. And don't give me that week one crap. Don't ever give me that week one crap. Hey, I'm so ashamed. I am so ashamed. I'm so embarrassed. I'm getting tired of this era of Ravens football. I'm getting tired. Y'all don't even play like the way the Ravens should. I'm so sick and tired. And everybody that's on the outside that doesn't understand what the Ravens are about, they'll sit back and talk about how much talent this team is and you're going to be good and all this other stuff. And I appreciate you guys talking about the talent, but it's beyond that, dude. I grew up watching Ray Lewis. I grew up watching Ed Reed. I grew up watching Terrell Suggs. I grew up watching a Hall of Fame defense. This franchise was built on defense. And over the last several years, I've watched the Ravens defense do everything in their power to tarnish the name and the fear that the Ravens defense used to hold. We're not even a fraction of that anymore. We take pride in our defense. What pride can we take in this defensive unit? None. What pride can we take? Can you imagine? Can you imagine the representation, the representation of your team, the symbol of your team? We have that shield. Our defense represents that shield to protect our house. This franchise was built on defense. We were built on defense. And this era of Ravens defense is such a joke. How can I take this team seriously? I don't care about what the offense does. I've never cared about what the offense has done. We always sit back and say the offense will figure it out. We won 2 Super Bowls with the offense not being great. We always find a way to figure it out. We've never cared about what the offense does. But when the defense is bad, that hurts us in our core because this franchise was built off of defense. So when the defense looks the way they look, it's an insult to everybody that wears their colors. And I'm supposed to believe in this team. I'm supposed to believe in these guys. And you could talk about it being week one and only one matchup. You would have never seen a Ray Lewis led defense giving up 41 points like that. With Ray Lewis and Ed Reed and Terrell Suggs there, and man, everybody better be on IR, and it better be those three playing. Tom Brady, Tom Brady used to fear playing our defense. Peyton Manning used to fear playing our defense. The greatest quarterbacks of all time used to fear having to go up against us. Ben Roethlisberger went through hell dealing with that defense. And he's the first to talk about how fierce of a defense Baltimore was. You can't say that about this defense now. You can't. You can't even come close to saying that. Josh Allen he has no fear for this Ravens defense. Patrick Mahomes has no fear for the Ravens defense. Joe Burrow has no fear for the Ravens defense. Does anybody fear this defense anymore? Does anybody fear this defense? I just want to know. Does anybody fear the Ravens defense? No. Not at all. I don't respect this team anymore because you don't respect what this team is about. When the defense looks like that, you show us you don't respect this franchise anymore. You don't care. You really don't. You really don't care. And that's where the problem lies. I don't want to hear anything. I don't care what the offensive line did or what the offense did. You don't care. Nobody fears you guys. The offense can be whatever. Nobody fears this defense anymore. We had a reputation. When you played Baltimore, you're playing a tough, physical football team that brought real fear in your heart. You knew that you had to keep track of wherever Ray Lewis was because whether it's in the run game or whether it's you drop it back to pass, Ray Lewis was coming with a level of enforcement that was going to drop you. You didn't want to test the middle of the field. You did not want to test the middle of the field because Ray Lewis was right there, ready to knock your lights out. You didn't want to test that middle of the field. You wouldn't dare attempt to throw the ball in the middle of the field when Ray Lewis was there. You wouldn't have never. You don't try the middle of the field when Ray Lewis is there. With Roquan, free eats every time. Free eats every single time. The middle's wide open every single time. Free eats. Free eats. When Ray Lewis was here, you wouldn't even dare try to throw the ball in the middle of the field. Man, you better check that down to the back on the right side or on the left side. I ain't throwing that slant. I'm not trying to go to the hospital. I'm not trying to put my receiver in the hospital. You wouldn't dare test Ray Lewis over the middle of the field. You didn't want to get smoked. With Roquan, free eats every time. One of the first things, whether it's Brady, whether it's Peyton, whether it's Ben Roethlisberger, hell, just to continue, whether it's Phillip Rivers, whoever you want, Drew Brees, even though he didn't see us that often. When you faced off against Baltimore, the first thing you do when you're looking down that secondary is you're locating where number 20 is. Because you know he's watching you. You make the slightest mistake, you forget he's back there, that's a pick. Belichick and Brady used to gush over how good Ed Reed was. They used to hate having to go up against him, but they respected the hell out of him because he just made things so difficult. And you knew you threw him a gift, he was catching it every time. This man against the Eagles, I don't even know how he was able to make that catch. That man made that catch and took it to a house for, what was it, 106-yard pick six against the Eagles. He had a 101-yard pick six against the Cleveland Browns. If you threw in Ed Reed's direction, that's automatic pick. And damn near 50% of the time, if he picks that, He taking it to the house, or he looking to lateral it to someone else that can take it to the house. You wouldn't dare try throwing in Ed Reed's direction because his hands was on target every single time. Nowadays, everyone's hands are just for decoration. Brick hands all around. Nobody can catch a pick. Nobody can catch a pick. Nobody can catch a pick. There's no fear factor in the secondary. Despite all the talent, there's no fear factor. You would have to think twice before throwing in those guys' directions. You don't have to think twice now. You just throw. You just do. We used to be in battles, man. We used to go to war with some of the best teams. What war are we going to now? We don't put fear in anybody's hearts. No fear. None. We do not put fear in anybody's hearts. But I'm supposed to believe in this Ravens team. So tired, man. So tired. This is what the Ravens are now. I would have never thought in my lifetime I'll watch the Ravens be so poor defensively. I never thought our offense would get good. We got blessed with Lamar Jackson. I never thought this would happen. So I'm glad to see what the offense doing what they're doing. That's a pleasant surprise. But I grew up with the offense being bad. I never had high expectations for the offense. I just needed them to handle business when they needed to handle business. But man, I honestly think an old, decrepit Ray Lewis and Ed Reed would have done more in that field last night than any of the guys we have in the secondary. An old, decrepit T Sizzle would have done more in the pass rush off the couch than what any of those pass rushers did last night. Huh? Hold on, guys. It's so bad, man. It's so bad. I'm done. I'm so done. I'm done with this team. I'm tired of this team. They're an unserious football team that's not gonna win anything. And I am so glad. I'm so glad that the Ravens showed me their true colors in week one. They match up with the Bills in the playoffs, they're not gonna win. They match up with the Chiefs in the playoffs, they're not gonna win. They're gonna have another heartbreaking loss in the postseason. They will go on to probably dominate the regular season because against most teams, they're gonna dominate. Past the bye week, Baltimore's schedule is relatively easy. They'll win a majority of those games, they'll get to 12 wins, they'll make the playoffs. Past that, please. We know what to expect in the postseason. This defense doesn't bring fear at all. They don't enforce anything. They're soft. Ray Lewis can't even motivate these guys to go play. They're soft. They're going to get eaten alive in January. I would love to say that the Bills are Chiefs, but I don't even think that's going to happen. I think they're going to lose before they see either one of those teams. And I know exactly who I'm talking about. And I'm not going to tell you about it until it happens because I want to show you who the Ravens are. So I'm not even going to speak about that until that moment happens. But they're soft. That is who they are. I have no faith or belief that this team's going to get it done in January this year. None. And I'm glad they showed me who they are. An unserious football team that isn't really competing. They're an unserious football team that's not serious about winning a championship. And as long as John Harbaugh remains to be the head coach, we're not winning anything. So I'm glad they let me know this in week 1. For the rest of the season, we're going to be very cordial on this channel. When it comes to streaming the games, you don't expect me to get overly excited. We're going to commentate the game like we commentate all these other games. I don't have a lot of expectations here. The way you saw me running around excited with all that, don't expect to see that this year. The Ravens have already let me know what the year is going to be about, so we are going to be cordial. We'll sit back, we'll watch the games, we'll enjoy as a fan with no real expectations. Then when January comes around, when we're here for the playoff game, we might as well just sit back and talk about the offseason plans for the Ravens because we know how things are going to end for them. It's already written. The story has been written on the 2025 Ravens, and we don't have to pretend it's not. The story has been written. The question is, who's going to be the one to ultimately break their hearts? I don't know who. I have an idea as to who's going to be the team to do so, but I'm not going to say it here. I said it back in January. I'm not going to say it here. If you caught the team I was talking about, good for you. But I'm not going to say it here. But the Ravens have shown me who they are. And I don't have to worry about stressing myself over an unserious football team. Once you show me who you are, I can go from there. I now know who the Ravens are, so I don't have to worry about anything else. You've shown me who you are. I can move on from that now. So I know how to act the rest of the season. Thank you, Baltimore, for showcasing who you truly are. And I don't care that people want to say it's week 1. We didn't give up a single 40-point performance the entire year last year. Despite that defense being awful, not one 40-point performance was given up last year. But in week 1, you do so. Thank you for letting me know in week 1 who you truly are. It makes things so much easier for me to now know you won't be winning in January. This team can't put together a consistent game plan. They can't be consistent as a football team. You think they're going to win 3 games in January? They'll be lucky to win 1. Lamar is going to be either 3-6 or 4-7. Was it 3-6 or 4-6? Yeah, 3-6 or 4-6 in the playoffs for Lamar. Just prepare for it. He's going to be 3-6 or 4-6 in the postseason after this year. Just be prepared for it, because this team is not winning. And then they'll go to the podium and talk about how they're so ticked off with this and how they made these mistakes and how we didn't execute. They'll talk about all the things they didn't do instead of just doing them, because that's what the Ravens are. Nothing but talk. They are snake oil. Don't buy into them. They're smoke and mirrors. They're an illusion. That's who they are. So now that we know this, we know how to move forward the rest of the season. That being said, I've said my piece. Before I head out, let me take a look at the comments and see how you guys feel about this. I have said my piece for the week 1 therapy session to set the tone. And I may be making a video tomorrow saying some of the exact same things I said here, because I really want to force this to the fan base, just how poor this defense is. And I really want to speak on that. So I may make a video this week in regards to that. So, yeah. The Ravens, I've said my piece about the Ravens, and now we can move on with the rest of the season. Get ready for week 2 against the Cleveland Browns and go from there. Let me take a look at some of these comments, and then we will head on out. I sadly lost sleep yesterday. I don't think being a Ravens fan will help me in college if I lose sleep. Dude, don't lose sleep over this team. Don't let this team stress you out. You are a college student. Focus on your academics. Have fun as a college student. Do not let this team hurt you in any way, especially you being a college student. Don't let it affect your work. Do not let it affect your work. What do you expect from the Ravens going forward? I expect them to dominate the regular season because their competition is not tough past the bye week, and they'll beat most teams on most Sundays. So they'll win about 12 games, as to be expected, and they'll lose in the playoffs just like they do every year. It's a yearly tradition for this team. So we'll just leave it like that. That game was rough. It's expected. No one's actually surprised by that. Nobody's surprised by that. I didn't watch the Vikings game. I might do something with that. Vikings show more heart than the Ravens. Good for the Vikings. What's going on, Deshaun? Uh, uh you think the Bears could be a wild card team in the NFC? Nope. Funny enough, I made my wild card predictions and I said the Vikings have a chance of being a wild card team. So it's a good thing they won week one. I don't have the Vikings making the playoffs, but the Vikings were one of the teams I said could be a wild card team. So yeah, I have not watched that movie. Um, yeah, maybe the best thing for the Ravens is to miss the playoffs. If that guarantees John Harbaugh being fired, I think every Ravens fan would take that. But he's not going anywhere, so who cares? Um, it is what it is. Save yourself money and stop watching the games. I don't pay. I don't go to the games, and I'm watching it off of my television. I'm not really spending money in terms of really watching these games. I'm not really spending money on this team, so I wouldn't have to worry about that. Yeah, older games are better than more recent games. I feel you on that. I do feel you on that. Bears blew the game. That's tough. It's concerning that Harbaugh didn't take any type of accountability and instead of put it on the players. Sean, he's never taken accountability. He's been like that since '08. He doesn't take accountability. And winning a championship just further enforced him not taking accountability. He's been like that his entire time being a coach. It's not really concerning or shocked because this is who he is. And he's never going to change. That's why I personally call him a parasite, but it is what it is. I was laughing about last night's game between the Ravens and Bills. That game was terrible. That game was a joke. It was embarrassing. That fourth quarter was such a joke. But you know what? It's routine with the Ravens. We are building a nice legacy of failure. We don't even know it. Any other coach would have been like, in hindsight, I could have went for it, and the outcome could have been the same. Man, John Harbaugh doesn't use. John Harbaugh is never aware of the situation. He's never aware of the situation, and it's never his fault. Baltimore never changed Ravens. We are embarrassing our predecessors. Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, Terrell Suggs, they are all disappointed with this unit because we are embarrassing the Ravens' name. It's so sad. It's really so sad. It's truly sad. It's just so sad. It's just so sad. We need to do what the Seahawks did with Pete Carroll. They're never going to fire Harbaugh. Steve Bisciotti does not care about winning a Super Bowl. He just cares about making money. He doesn't give a damn about winning a Super Bowl. If he was actually serious about winning a Super Bowl, Harbaugh would have been gone. But he doesn't care about winning a Super Bowl. He doesn't. He just wants to make money. He's a businessman. It is what it is. And EDC doesn't have the guts to fire his next door neighbor. He doesn't have the guts to fire him. So he's never going to. So please, by the way, please stop bothering EDC's wife. Please. Okay, she's not a part of the team. She's a fan just like us. Please stop bothering her to try to talk to her husband to fire Harbaugh. Do not bother that woman. Please stop bothering her. Stop it. Do not harass the wife of our general manager just because you're pissed off with the whole situation involving John Harbaugh. Please do not be like that. I'm begging you, leave her alone and stop pestering her. Please. But yeah, EDC doesn't have the guts to fire John Harbaugh. And Steve Bisciotti does not care about anything other than making money. He doesn't care about winning a Super Bowl. So yeah, I'm just gonna watch so I can laugh and just say what's gonna happen out loud. Dude, I've been predicting the Ravens' failures for years now, and it's been on point. So I'm glad to. I guess I'm glad to see I can predict my team, but it's also pathetic that I can predict it. It's so predictable. Everybody can see how bad this team is. John Dumball, Dumball, Jesus, John, oh Dumball. Okay, Dumball is the worst coach in NFL history. 48 blown leads since he became head coach. 48 blown leads. Is that a real thing? Have we blown 48 leads since John's been here? I know we've blown 17 double digit leads, but we've blown 48 leads since he became the head coach. That's even worse. That's even worse, man. Oh, he did fumble against the Bills week 4 last year, but Ricard got it in the end zone. Yeah, Derrick Henry's been having a fumbling issue ever since he came to Baltimore. Didn't really have these issues before, but why not? The refs were helping Josh. Our defense dropped 3 picks. Harbaugh killed the players' momentum, making them play conservative. It's the same story with the Ravens every year. QBR is a liar. According to QBR, Allen was the ninth best quarterback yesterday, which is an obvious inaccuracy. I don't remember what his passer rating is. I mean, again, Allen put up a lot of crazy stats in what should have been garbage time, but the Ravens blew it. Basically, Allen did what Dak did, except the Ravens were able to close the game out. Had Dak Prescott got the ball back, we would have lost the Cowboys in week 3. This game was eerily close to the way we lost to the Cowboys. Only difference is in the Cowboys game, we picked up the first down. Here, we didn't pick up the first down. So, yeah. The field goal before halftime for the Bills was a difference. No, I think having a 15-point lead in the fourth quarter and giving up every single pass play to the outside was a difference. That fourth down tip touchdown was a difference. Derrick Henry fumbling was a difference. I can't say that halftime one was a difference because we came out of halftime and scored a touchdown. And then in the next drive, we scored another touchdown. We just kept scoring touchdowns in the third quarter. We didn't do anything in the fourth quarter, really. I want us to just miss the playoffs. Unfortunately, Lamar and Derrick Henry are too good for that to happen. We have to stop being conservative and let Lamar be the MVP and expect. Okay, we have to stop being conservative and let Lamar be the MVP. Okay, take off that is okay, especially in big moments. Let Lamar cook and let Henry cook on the side. Attitude pop. We've been conservative in the fourth quarter since John Harbaugh's been here. Flacco hated that we were getting too conservative, and he actively complained about it. He even spoke about it and said, "Listen, man, if we're gonna win a Super Bowl, we can't play this conservative." He actively voiced his opinion on that. But you think John cares? No. This is who he is. The only reason we won the Super Bowl that year was because of Jacoby Jones, rest in peace, but more so the mutiny. The players got sick of Harbaugh's crap and decided let's have a mutiny. The mutiny is what saved the season and allowed us to get a Super Bowl. They got sick and tired of John Harbaugh's crap and had a mutiny. That's what saved us. Shortly afterward, guess what? Cam Cameron was gone. That mutiny changed everything for us. How does the defense let them get that field goal before halftime? Because they're frauds. The defense are frauds. They're embarrassing the Ravens' name all the time in the world, but they're just soft. They're soft. They're break dancers. They're soft. They don't do anything on that defense. They're soft. Soft. The Ravens' defense is soft. Soft is the word today when we describe the Ravens' defense. I know I may seem like a hater, but I never liked Justice Hill. Hey man, to each his own. Bench, dude, don't even waste time talking about benching Falele. That's not gonna happen. He's John Harbaugh's precious boy, so he ain't going nowhere. They're not gonna look for a replacement at the right guard position. They love Falele. They're not wasting time with that. I can watch anything. I can watch comedies. I can watch action movies. I don't really have a specific genre that I watch. Let's see what else here. Ever since they colluded Lamar at the draft, they had it out for him. I'm not gonna get into that today. Maybe we're cursed. Who knows? Who knows? I don't even know. Players need to stop making YouTube videos directly after losses. Kyle Van Noy. Dude, this is the era we live in. It's the era of social media, and players have the access to do this now. So, no way you're gonna stop these guys from doing that. Now I understand why you say he's the Doc Rivers of the NFL. Been saying it for years now. I've been saying John Harbaugh's the Doc Rivers of the NFL for years now, and people aren't listening. Um, we can go 16-1 from here on out and still wouldn't trust his team, maybe the defense. I have no faith and belief in this team actually getting it together. They can't put together a single game consistently. How the hell are they going to put together 3 games to win the Super Bowl? That's not happening. Our parasite coach doesn't like to see us win a win. Yeah, is what it is. I agree. I can't trust his defense. I have no faith in this defense. None. Not a single ounce of faith in them. This team is so stacked though on paper. They're stacked on, but we're gonna be the paper champs. We're gonna be up there in NFL history. We'll team all this talent that couldn't get over the hump. That's who we're gonna be. Alright. You see how mad Kyle Hamilton was in that interview? I didn't watch that interview. I didn't watch anything the players say. All I think the players just talk. I want action, and I'm not seeing any action. If this O line gets Lamar hurt, we're literally gonna worry. Don't worry. When Falele causes that to happen, John Harbaugh won't take responsibility. He won't. One sack the whole night is nasty work. Great pass rushing unit, guys. Who do you want the Ravens to hire as a head coach if John ain't here? I honestly do not care who you go to hire. I say go try to get a young offensive coordinator from one of these teams. We just saw Ben Johnson get a job. Obviously, Chicago blew the lead. That's Chicago. But again, I would take any one of these young offensive coordinators or go get an old, experienced guy from anywhere that could still want to come coach. And these older coaches that may want to give it a shot and still see what they can do, I'd go do that right now. Would you trade Harbaugh for Tomlin? No, because they're the same guy. Only difference is Tomlin doesn't have half the talent Harbaugh has. But Tomlin still has his issues. Steelers fans will tell you left, right, up, and down. Also, with the way Tomlin can't really control a locker room with. Well, good news is we don't really have a lot of divas here in Baltimore, but he can't really control a locker room. So maybe Tomlin would be a better upgrade, but still, Harbaugh and Tomlin are one and the same. It's just Harbaugh has all this talent and he's wasting it. But Tomlin did waste the killer bees when you had Ben Roethlisberger, Antonio Brown, Le'Veon Bell with Boswell and stuff. They had that great offense, but the defense was putrid. They wasted some years. So I don't know. I wish Ray Lewis was our head coach instead of Harbaugh. I know for a damn fact that number 52 would never let our team play conservative like that. And if Ray Lewis was the head coach, it'd be a different conversation. I feel like it's disrespectful to the fan base and the team. Remember when Marlo was gonna leave the last season and Lamar wasn't feeling that? I view this the same way. It's just a whole mess in Baltimore with that defense, dude. I should be a coach for real. That's funny. I don't think I'd be able to handle these people messing up like that. It was hard to sleep last night over this Ravens performance. I slept like a baby after I crashed out. It was fun. Don't hear Caleb in the same breath as JD5. Um, yeah, John Harbaugh was a special teams coordinator with Philadelphia under Andy Reid. Apparently, he doesn't know how to organize a special teams unit anymore. His team stinks. This team really stinks. It's almost like Harbaugh's a special teams coach and not a head coach a lot. Dude, he's not even good at that. He's not even good at special teams. Our special teams have been terrible. What does Harbaugh even do? Team isn't focused at all. Seems like we're more revenge motivated than the actual team. Team is just they're an undisciplined mess right now. So yeah, Gal Van Noy, man, that was not a good time to post that. So I agree with you guys on that. Time to move on from John Harbaugh. They're not going to do so. Don't even matter. Time to move on from the coach. They're not going to do so. EDC doesn't have the guts to fire Harbaugh, and Steve Buscemi only cares about money. He doesn't actually care about winning a championship, so they're not going to move on from him. Would have been fired a long time ago if he never won that Super Bowl. Dude, we fired Brian Billick for less. Harbaugh's done irreversible damage to the reputation of this franchise. He has choked so many times. We fired Brian Billick for that, and Brian Billick hasn't even had half of the level of talent John Harbaugh's had to work with. But whatever, it is what it is. I hate to say it, dude, but you're not gonna. They're not gonna be able to ignore the head coach. You're not going to be able to ignore the head coach. As much as we would love that, you can't. You're not gonna be able to ignore the head coach. I took down my John Harbaugh autograph from my wall that I got a few years ago once we blew the game. I don't blame you. Time to move on from John. He's not going anywhere. Lamar definitely saved Harbaugh. Harbaugh would have been out the door at the end of the 2018 season had we not played Lamar and made the playoffs. If the Ravens don't win the Super Bowl this year, that's it. Most likely. I mean, it feels like that at this point. If you can't get it done, you're not going to get it done next year. Can't see us win the Super Bowl, bro. I really hope so, but I'm being realistic. We're not winning the Super Bowl, so you can just cut cut. Get rid of that delusion now that this team's winning a Super Bowl and just enjoy the season as a fan. They're not winning a Super Bowl. They are not. I'll tell you that for a fact. They're not winning a Super Bowl this year. They can't even play consistently on a week to week basis. How are they going to put together three great games in the postseason? They're not winning a Super Bowl, dude. They're so undisciplined. They're a mess. They're not winning a Super Bowl. They're not putting together 3 great games. This team is toast this year. Hey, bro, I'm glad you see that too. I saw that in week 1. I know who they are. I don't got to worry for the rest of the year now. I know who they are. They're not going to the AFC Championship game. They're going to lose far before that. Ray Lewis would never allow a comeback like that to happen. It's just a shame that we're having to deal with this type of defense now. Ravens is supposed to be known as the hardest hitting slash best defense in the league, and they're playing soft. Because we got a soft roster and we got a defensive coordinator that doesn't know what he's doing. Yeah, I miss Ed Reed. I miss Terrell Suggs. And I miss Ray Lewis, man. Flacco, Ray Rice days, the offense was always at least top 15 every season. I'll take that over dropping 40 and still losing. I mean, I like the high octane offense we have now, but the defense is what causes us to just want to rip our hairs out. If Flacco had Derrick Henry, I mean, if Flacco had Derrick Henry, that'd be pretty good. He wouldn't be as effective as what he's doing with Lamar, but damn, I mean, we had that defense back then. It would have been something special. Zachary Orr defensive play calls prevent defense less bliss. It's just embarrassing, dude. It's just embarrassing. Oh boy, I miss Mike McDonald. I miss Mike McDonald every day, man. I truly miss Mike McDonald. I honestly believe we would it all. You can believe whatever delude. Well, if we had Mike McDonald, yeah, we have a better chance to win it all. But without that, no. Same script, get to the playoffs, choke, lose next year, rinse and repeat. Pretty much. Defense don't even exist. Ray Lewis, the Ravens GOAT, was at the game watching his rip. Ray Lewis tried everything in his power to motivate them prior to the game starting, and they still played like that. These guys are lost. They're a lost cause. They are a lost cause. I never thought of that before. We most definitely can't live with a bad defense. It's the representation of this franchise, and we're embarrassing ourselves, bro. Embarrassing ourselves. Bad defense makes me cringe, even if it's another team whose defense is playing bad. This franchise is known for playing great, for being a defensive force, and we're playing like this. It's just a joke. Oy, it's just pathetic. If we was going to make a linebacker defensive coordinator, it should have been Ray. Would have been cool. Would have been cool. Or was calling plays like he was playing Madden. Dude, Madden players wouldn't even call a game that poor. Oy. The defense about to let Flacco go off for 455 touchdowns next week. It's gonna be nasty. He ain't gonna put that much up. Flacco ain't putting 5 touchdowns, but he might get 2 or 3. And that offense may put like 25 points on us at least. They said they wanted to be like the 2000 Ravens. What a joke! When that's a joke, bro. Think they could be like the 2000 Ravens in their dreams, delusional belief. Y'all still the best team in the league. Don't trip. As long as y'all don't tie Bill's record for one is, dude. Don't. I get you're a Niners fan. You want to help out, dude. This ain't the time, bro. I'm not listening to the best team in the league with that defense. We're not even close to the best team in the league. You may have an explosive offense, but the defense is complete trash. All the talent in the world, they don't know how to play like a team. I'll hold my thoughts till week 4. Dude, it don't even matter. Win or lose against Kansas City, they're the same team. And they're probably going to lose in Kansas City. We already know it. They don't beat the Chiefs. Can't beat the Chiefs. Can't beat the Beats. They can't beat the Chiefs. Can't beat the Bills. They struggle against the Steelers. Who do they beat? All these other teams that they won't be dealing with in January. What a joke. Yeah, having a true identity on both sides is key. Absolutely. Absolutely, Houston. Absolutely. Offensive coordinators feared Ray, Ed Reed, Suggs, and Nata. Now they got all the confidence. Got all the confidence in the world because they know they can get points on our defense, bro. Oh my god, bro. And even when he was like, okay, well, you had those 4, you still had studs, bro. Nobody was throwing to Jimmy Smith like that. You weren't trying to test Jimmy Smith out. God, I miss Jimmy Smith. Like, seriously. Oh my god. Jimmy Smith was a physical corner. He wasn't even allowing that crap. I was watching Jimmy Smith go up against all these guys. You got Jimmy Smith on Julio Jones doing a damn good job. Man, I wish Jimmy Smith was still on the team, and I wish he was healthy. No one fears our defense anymore, man. No one fears our defense. Could you imagine how bad Ray would smoke Falele if they went heads up? Well, Falele would be injured if that happened. We're the new Atlanta Falcons? Absolutely. Speaking of which, Falcons choked, and we followed suit. The Falcons and the Ravens are one and the same. I really want to have hope, but damn, man, this loss really stinks. No point of having hope in the team that's showing you who they are. We already know what to expect. You can just fast forward to January. People forget it was John Harbaugh who dismantled the team after the Super Bowl. Majority of the caps is gone. Yeah, but it's all good. John Harbaugh won a Super Bowl. He's been here for a long time, so it's all excusable, I guess. What happens if the defense plays good against the Chiefs? It doesn't change anything. We know what's going to happen come playoff time. It doesn't change anything. Y'all can, I'm telling you, the Ravens can beat the Chiefs. You can fall back into the realm of delusion, and you'll be woken up come playoff time because they're not going to get it done in January. No matter what they do against the Chiefs. And they're probably going to lose to Kansas City anyway, so it really don't matter. It really don't matter. Oh, alright, let me see. I was seeing one thing. Yeah. Think no, won't say anything about that. Woke up and you were up 40-25. I was like, good job, Ravens. The game is over. Yeah. Well, you would think that, but the Ravens can't hold on to a lead. It's insane how they killed all my hype in game one. I'm glad they did that because at least I know who they are and I don't have to spend a year trying to figure out who they are. They showed me who they are in week one. I can now just chill out the rest of the season. Here in Steeler Nation, we thought Joe Flacco was only good enough to win the Super Bowl. Turns out it was Harbaugh, not Flacco. Oh, you thought he was only good enough? Okay, this is what it is, bro. Baltimore never gets it together. Baltimore never gets together. Ravens, as long as this coaching staff's here, he don't like making changes either. It is what it is, bro. We're stuck with this. Ravens defense got me drinking and binging you. Please don't let your health be affected by this team. I've been talking about Falele for ages now. Harbaugh only benches receivers and DBs. It don't matter. We know he's not going to bench him. People are going to complain about him, but he's not going to get benched. That's his guy. John wants to call out Kyle Hamilton, but don't want to call Falele out. We don't. I don't care what John Harbaugh has to say. I really don't. I truly do not care what that man has to say. Barely got. I barely got sleep from last. You barely got sleep last night because of this. Please, guys, don't let this affect you. I don't know why I'm not even mad anymore. Dude, a lot of Ravens fans aren't even mad anymore. I feel like I've reached the acceptance stage. Yeah, a lot of us Ravens fans have reached the acceptance stage. We know who they are. They're not winning in January. At least you got Washington. You're damn right. And I get to watch them live every Sunday. Well, every Sunday they're at the stadium. So, hey, Commanders got me feeling very optimistic about this year. I think the Commanders can do something. They definitely going back to the playoffs. The question is, how do we fare against Philadelphia? That is my own. Matter of fact, forget that. Green Bay is a actual threat in the NFC now. Thursday night football. I'm gonna see what this Commanders defense can do against Jordan Love, and I gotta see how our offensive line is gonna fare with Michael Parsons and that group there. If the Commanders get the win on Thursday night, I really like our chances to make some noise in the NFC this year. So yeah, Washington's got me a lot of. They brought me a lot of hope and optimism there. Baltimore has shown me who they are. I recently saw a video where Ed Reed explained the type of coach Harbaugh was coming into head coaching position. That makes sense. Yeah, I mean they've already called out Harbaugh for years now, but people don't care. With all this great talent on paper potentially being a waste, you might as well go grab a paper shredder. We ain't really worried at this point. We know who they are. We know who they are. Ravens, the Cowboys, of the AFC. We're more like the Falcons. What are Falcons when it comes to choking, and what the Cowboys when it comes to playoff performances? Harbaugh's a good coach. He's just too comfy. He needs to get fired. He ain't going nowhere. What's up, Go Bills? Congratulations. Go win the Super Bowl, dude. Go win the Super Bowl. And every Bills fan that has spoken to me over the last 24 hours, I sat back and said, go win the Super Bowl. I don't know what it's going to take for you guys to execute like that against Kansas City, but please go win the Super Bowl. Go do it. You guys can execute in key situations. It's just when it comes to Kansas City, you just can't get it done. This year, get it done and go win the Super Bowl. We won't be in the Super Bowl, so might as well take the opportunity to get it done. Please, Browns, Bengals, and Steelers, put us out of our misery. Is what it is, man. It probably won't happen. Can't go to sleep until the Ravens win. Don't do that to yourself. Don't do that to yourself. Harbaugh's ego wouldn't tolerate Ray Lewis because he'll be a much bigger influence on the team, just like him and Reed were when they were. That's true. That is true. That is true. It physically pains me to see that our defense that bad. Me too, my guy. Me too. This defense would have went crazy 4 years ago. Who knows? I wouldn't be surprised if Ravens get caught up in a trap game in the wild card round. That's exactly what most likely will happen. And yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to go 0-4. It is what it is. Anyway, guys, it is 12:51 in the morning. I don't want to hold you guys up. Some of y'all may have work tomorrow. Some of y'all may be going to school tomorrow. I'm not here to hold you up. I want to make sure that we get our takeout, but I'm not going to hold you up. That is not my job to do. I make sure I don't hold you up too long. It's 12:51. I got to go to work tomorrow as well, so I don't want to hold you up here much longer. But this has been the Ravens week 1 therapy session. Honestly, going to be the longest therapy session we have of the season because whatever they do afterwards, we could care less. The Ravens showed us who they were yesterday. We now know what to expect moving forward. We'll have our therapy sessions for you guys wanted to talk about it, but we all know who the Ravens are now. So we can just go from there. With that being said, guys, take care. Good night. Appreciate you all tuning into the stream. And we will be back, man. Stay tuned. Be sure to stay safe, guys.